So now you have seen user input control. Now let's just see a small demo on the same. I'm going to create a new project with the name UI input control, and I'm going to name it empty activity, and I'm going to call main activity as main activity only, and let the griddle bit. In this particular example, I'm going to show you some input controls like edit text, text views, buttons, checkboxes, radio buttons, and I'm also going to show you how exactly you can create an alert dialog or a progress dialog. So this is how it looks like. I will create it from very scratch. I will call it, I'll drag and drop text view. We call it UI design, and we'll make it 30 sp. Now let's just drag some input fields like edit text. I will drag edit text and put it here and match parent, and I will call it, let's say, I put nothing as in right now, but as a placeholder I put enter your name. Next I put another text field, but here also I put nothing, and I call it enter your age. Now enter your age and make it match parent. Now as of right now, these two edit text behaves same. They will take any alphabet you try to put in them, but the second one I just want to give it as a age. Whenever user click on it, it should only open age keyboard, only numpad. So for that I can always go into the input type and call it number and remove the text person name. There you go. Now every time you open it up, there will be only a numpad opening up. So this is how you can control your edit text. You can even create a email type of edit text, which will give you a @ on your keyboard. You can create a time, date, or decimal point. So this is how you can control the user input with the help of edit text. Now in the same way, if you want to have buttons, if you want to check out the text part of this, you can or coding part of this, you can always click on text, and you will see here all I did in both the edit texts is there was a height, there was a width, and input type here is a text person name, and again, as it is a relative layout, so it is placing itself below your first view. And next you can see that the second edit text is input type of number. So this particular input type makes the difference here between these two edit texts. Now if I want to create a button, I can drag and drop button, and if I want to create a toggle button here, I can even drag and drop a toggle button. And on, and you make it on. As of right now, in the starting it's on, checked. And if you want a radio buttons to be placed there, now to use radio, first of all, let's just check out the checkboxes. You can use a checkbox like this. You drag and drop and checkbox. You call let's say drag and drop a checkbox. Let's say you call it English, and again you drag a checkbox, you call it Hindi, and each checkbox you can put a ID to it, right? And you will use this ID whenever you are going to use these checkbox in your Java file. Here, next, if you want to put a radio button, if you directly drag and drop a radio button, it will behave independently. No, this radio button will behave independently, and this radio button will behave independently. You can click both the radio buttons together at this point of time. So you do not want that. You want that any one of these radio buttons can be should be selected at any one point of time. So how do you do that? For that to happen, you need to include a radio group first. Radio group is a container which can contain your radio button. You put a radio group here. Now, once you put a radio group, inside your radio group, you can drag a button and paste it. Now, if you want to change the radio group button text, let's say mail, and ID mail, it will be mail. And if you want to put another radio button inside it, drag a button and call it female. There you go. So now if I run this application and see the output, so as you can see, the application is up running. I can enter my name here. When I click on this, there is this keyboard, standard keyboard, which allows me to enter any text I want. And when we click on age, this is the num keyboard. So you won't be able to enter any text here, because that's what you want here. You only want the number keyboard. In the same way, if you want to change the, click on the button, toggle button, every time you click, see, that's how it is getting changed. Now, as of right now, I haven't really handled this button, but every time you are clicking or changing the state of this button, you have to put the listener to this button, and you will be able to handle this button too. In the same way, if you want to use these checkboxes, you can use these checkboxes too. Every time you are checking, you can save the you can check if these checkboxes are checked or not. Will be very useful when you are designing your forms. And here, like gender, either you can select male or female. As you can see, now you can only select one of them. So this here can be very useful when you are designing a form and taking the user input, and you are trying to control your user input in a form or in an application. Now, at any point of time, if you want to handle any one of these components, you do need to get the access of these components here. For example, let me just handle that button, toggle button. To access that button, I'll put toggle button, find view by ID, r.id toggle button. Now let me just handle those checkboxes too. Checkbox ch1 comma ch2, ch1 comma ch1 equals to checkbox, find view by ID, r.id checkbox 2, and same way ch2 equals to checkbox, find view by ID, r.id checkbox 3, and there you go. So now I have the access of these. Now every time you want to click on a set on click on click listener. So every time you click on your button, you want something to happen, so you can always put on click listener, and you can check if see if it is already checked when you are clicking on it. If it is already checked, just do something, whatever you want here. Let me just put a toast here right now, telling you that make text main activity dot this, and you turned off the button if it is already checked, right? And show length dot short dot show. Else, I mean, that means it's already not checked, it's off. So you can always see here and turned on. And once you do that, so you have handled your button. In the same way, if you are checking a checkbox and you want to handle it, let's say ch not set on checked change listener, check change listener. So whenever you change your listener, toast dot make text and put a toast, let's say main activity dot this, you unchecked mail because ch1 is mail, and in the same way you can put short dot show. If you want to handle the same way your second ch2 and you unchecked, you changed female, changed female male. So let's just try to run this now and see if we are able to handle it. So when I click on, see, you turned on. Well, it was already on. You turned off, right? And okay, that's not quite right because it's already on in the starting, and I need to check if it's already checked in the starting, and if it is returning you true, turn on, and if it is off, turn off. Okay, now let's just try. It turned off. Yeah, it turned on. Great. And if you check on English, see, I need to change the text, but you turn Hindi, you change female. So that's how it goes. So in this way you can always handle each and every view, and you can control the user input. Now let's just talk about alerts. I'm going to create two buttons here. One will open up my, okay, one will open up my alert box, alert dialog, and another one will open up my progress dialog. I just call it alert dialog, and the second one I'm going to call progress dialog. Now in the on click of this button, we can put the attribute on click. I can call open alert, and to create this same method into my Java class, all I need is Alt, first click on the text, then Alt, enter, and you will get this autocomplete create open alert with the view argument, and just press enter, and there you go. And this is where you will provide the functionality to open up your alert dialog box. In the same way, I need to add the progress dialog. On click open progress. There you go. Now let's just talk about alert dialog box first. Alert dialog. To create alert dialog, I will create alert dialog dot builder object first. My alert equals to new alert dialog dot builder, and pass the context object as this. Sorry. This. Next I need is a message, because that's how your dialogues are. Next I need is title, because your dialogues are always, when we look at the architecture of dialog, at the very top we have title, then we have message, then we have buttons. So I will do what? My alert dot set title, we call it, let's say, exit, and my alert dot, let me just set the message as are you sure. Next is buttons. When we talk about alert dialog, we can set three types of button: button positive, button negative, and button neutral. So here we are going to set two buttons, that is set positive button, and this is the first argument is what should be the text written on the button. Let me just call yes. And second argument is how exactly you want to handle that button. What should be happening when you click on that button? What should be the functionality? So for that, you will again do what? New on-click listener. But this time around, this on-click listener will not be a view.onClick listener, but it will be a dialog interface.onClick listener. Just press enter here, and you see dialog interface.onClick listener. Again, here, when you press on yes, you do want to close your, exit your application or exit your activity. So I can directly call finish. This will, start the destroying life cycle. After that, my alert dot, I'm going to create a negative button too, and inside this, I'm going to call it no first, and to handle it, again on click dialog interface dot on click listener and semicolon, and here I don't want to close my app, but I want to close or dismiss my dialog box. So how can I do that? I already have an object of dialog box here, that is dialog interface here. All I need is dialog interface dot dismiss or cancel. They both do, they both will do the trick. Okay, after this, my alert dot show. Until unless you do not do that, your dialog box will not be shown. So let's just take a look if I'm able to see my dialog box or not. So here, when I click on alert dialog, as you can see, there is a alert dialog exit saying are you sure. If I click on no, it is dismissing the dialog box. Indeed, if I click on yes, boom, my application is gone. So that's what I want. That's what I wanted, right? So great. Next is progress dialog. Now please remember that as of right now, if I open up that same application and I open up my alert dialog and I click outside, my dialog box goes away because I haven't really set a property known as my alert dot set auto cancelable. Set cancelable. Sorry, my alert dot set cancelable as false. Once you put that, now nobody can exit by clicking outside until unless he actually interact with your dialog box. See here, now I'm trying to click outside, but nothing is happening. So user has to now interact with your dialog box. Now make sure whenever you are making it set cancelable false, then you are providing functionalities to these buttons to get back to either to activity or exiting from the app. Now let's just come back to progress dialog. A progress dialog can be shown in two types. Either it will be a horizontal progress dialog or it will be a spinner progress dialog. It is used to show your progress. It is used to calculate or measure your progress, and the way you design your progress dialog is progress dialog. Let's just call PD equals to new progress dialog, and the context, let's say this. Now again, here as it is a dialog, so there will be a title. Let's say set title, we call it download. Now let's just call it downloading, and then PD dot set message. Let's just call it please wait. And we need to set a PD dot progress style. What kind of progress dialog you want? Well, for now, let's just set a spinner type. Spinner type of progress dialog is that kind of progress dialog which gives you a spinner. I mean, there will be a circle keep on moving around. You don't really know how much time your application is going to take to complete your dialog box. You don't really know how much time your application is going to take to complete that particular task. So at that point of time, you will so for those tasks for which you really don't know how much time it's going to take, you will put the progress dialog dot style spinner. This is also known as indeterministic dialog box because you don't really know the time here, the exact amount of time, how much it's going to take. So next is to set the button. Again, here the button can be set in three ways: button positive, button negative, or button neutral. So the way we set button in progress dialog box is slightly different. We have only one method, set button. Now we have three arguments. First argument is to tell what kind of button you are trying to set. So that is progress dot, let's say button negative or button positive, right? So it's up to you which kind of button you want. And second is, what is the name of the button you want to be? What is the text you want? Let's say cancel. Last is how you want to handle it. So you see, really nothing has changed. It's just that there is one more argument instead of directly having a method set positive or set negative. So now we will use again on click but the dialog interface one, and then we will do dialog interface dot dismiss or cancel. Whenever your user clicks on cancel, it should cancel your dialog box, and at the end PD dot show. There you go. Now if you try to run this, you will be able to see your progress dialog, but in a spinner style. As you can see, there will be a spinner keep on moving. You don't really know how much time it takes. So if you press on cancel, it will be cancelled. Now, so when exactly, let's say I want that progress dialog to be closed when my data or my progress is done. So for that, you need to do the programming in the background. That's something we will see in async task. And let me just show you that another type of progress dialog also, that is horizontal. In this, there will be a bar right now. As you can see, there will be a bar. If you try to open this up now, Instead of spinner, there will be a bar, and which gives you by default 0 to 100. But please be apprised, this bar will not progress. The progress dialog will not progress as of right now, because it needs to update its UI. And you cannot update the UI directly like this. For that you need to learn async task. So we will see the same example, updating the progress dialog box in my async task, and in there I will be updating this progress dialog. So for now, just understand how exactly we can create the dialog box, and this is how we create the alert dialog. So at any point of time you need any nifty gritty dialog box to be shown in your application, you can always use alert dialog box. So that was all about UI control inputs, and hope you like it. Thank you.